Hello and welcome back to Holt Hanley Weather. There's going to be three main weather stories we're going to be talking about today. The first is Winter Storm Lamont, which is moving through the Midwest right now, and then it's going to hit the Northeast in a matter of days. The second big story is the rainfall in the Southeast. A state of emergency has already been declared in multiple locations in the Southeast, and unfortunately, some heavy rain and thunderstorms are on their way for next week. The third story is the snowstorm that is possible towards Thursday and Friday next week. We're going to take a look at all of that, starting with the Midwest. As you can see, by Monday, parts of central Wisconsin could be seeing 5 to 8 inches of snowfall. That's really where the bullseye of these snow accumulations are, but basically the entire Midwest is getting a piece of this action. Places in Michigan, you could be getting 3 to 5 inches. Again, that bullseye is in Wisconsin, where there's 5 to 8 inches possible. Northern Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, you're going to be more in the 1 to 3 inch range, but it's still something. And then as we click through, that snow is basically gone by Tuesday. But up to that point, you've picked up some pretty good amounts. So what I always like to do is check out the big picture so we can get an overall view of what the weather's doing in the country, and then we'll narrow it down later in the video to actually the specific regions, where we'll look at the timing and locations of snowfall and rain. So right now, the first thing you notice is Winter Storm Lamont. It is hitting the Midwest right now, and you see some snow is going into Wisconsin, some lake effect snow with this storm, and some decent snowfall. But what you want to look at right here is you start to see those isobars start to pull up from the Gulf of Mexico. And what that's going to do is the winds in those isobars are going to pull in a bunch of warm, moist air from the Gulf of Mexico into Winter Storm Lamont. And what that's going to do is create a huge band of rain, basically from Texas to Pennsylvania. So watch what happens right after this. This is Sunday morning. Click through, start to see that band show up. And then by Monday morning, that band is basically stretching from Texas to Pennsylvania while there's heavier snowfall rates in the Northeast. And then that rain kind of hangs out, which is pretty unfortunate for the Southeast. Like I said, there's extreme flooding down there already. Soils can't take any more moisture, and they're going to get severe thunderstorms from Monday all the way basically into Saturday as another one picks up. So let's look at that next system. On Thursday, you see the low to the north of Wisconsin is going to combine with the low that is sitting right off the east of Texas. Those are basically going to combine into one superstorm, and that low is going to hit the Northeast on early Thursday morning. And you see that just perfect band of rain going from Louisiana to western Pennsylvania. We're going to take a look at where that low off of Texas comes from. It's actually a pretty cool map, so you're going to want to watch at least for a couple more minutes, if not the whole video. Going into the Midwest, you see some nice snowfall rates right now, maybe 0.2 to 0.4 inches in parts of western Wisconsin. That's going to move through the entire Midwest. Some nice localized snowfall in parts of Michigan, while southern Illinois and southern Indiana, you're going to be getting more of that rain. It's a little bit warmer down there, so precipitation is mostly going to be in the form of rain, while some northern portions of Indiana and Ohio could be getting a taste of that snowfall. And then that one's gone. Let's see what happens when that Thursday storm comes in. See a high basically from Monday into Wednesday. That high moves through, and then you start to see it creep up Wednesday morning. By Wednesday night, you see this is going to be a pretty good storm. There's decent snowfall rates in northern Illinois, up into Wisconsin, Michigan, and really heavy rain associated with that low that you see is just on the southern part of Indiana in this picture. When you see those oranges, you know it's going to be some heavy rain. That's going to be 0.5 inches per hour. And then that one is gone by Thursday morning. So that's going to be an interesting storm. Again, the forecast models, they're not set in stone at this point. Thursday is still pretty far off. So we know there's going to be a storm. The question is the timing and how powerful it's going to be. So I'm going to keep you guys up to date on this storm. I'm going to be posting about it every single day. So if you want to see my updates, make sure to come back to Holt Hanley Weather. Let's see what happens in the northeast associated with that storm. Right now, see not a lot of action going on. Basically no precipitation, one little patch of snow in New York. And then by Sunday night, start to see that low move into the area. Heavy snowfall rates in parts of western Pennsylvania building into New York by early Monday morning. And then by Monday at about 7 a.m., that snow has moved up into Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, while rain moves into Pennsylvania. And then that one's gone. But and that's some rain on Tuesday, isolated snowfall in New York, Tuesday afternoon. Mostly rain. For something to look out for is Connecticut and Massachusetts. You guys are going to be getting some of that rain. Not the craziest rates we've ever seen, but just to keep in mind that there's a little something on Tuesday. And then another high moves through. And then let's look at that storm on Thursday. Wow. As you can see, remember the low combined from the Gulf of Mexico with that low in Canada, basically combining to make a superstorm. And you're going to get some heavy snowfall rates in New York, and that's going to move up through Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, and there's going to be some good or bad freezing rain in northern Pennsylvania, heavy rainfall in western Pennsylvania. And something that's interesting about this is just a few days ago, all the models were saying that this low was going to pass up into Canada, and basically the entire Northeast was going to miss out on this storm. As you can see, not missing out anymore. That low has now moved down. It's going to pass right over Pennsylvania. So if this trend continues of the low getting more and more southern, if it can move to like off New Jersey, you're going to start to see what's called a Sutcliffe-Peterson self-development, where the storm starts feeding on itself, creating a positive feedback loop, which can end up crippling the Northeast if that happens. As of right now, it's not, but the trend is in that direction. So let's look at some of the totals that the Northeast is going to see. With this first storm, Winter Storm Lamont, maybe 3 to 4 inches in some parts of Pennsylvania, while southern Pennsylvania, not getting any of it. Let's see if Boston gets any. Doesn't look like Boston's going to have any snow with this system, while northern parts of New York, probably in the 3 to 4 inch range. Maine, you're kind of missing out on this one too, maybe 1 to 2 inches. But the interesting thing is what's going to happen on Thursday when that other one builds in. Alright, this is pretty encouraging because just 2 days ago, all that snow was up north of Canada, and it was maybe the northern tip of Maine was getting 1 to 2 inches. Now, that snow started to build in south, as far as Connecticut and Massachusetts. New York, you're looking at 2 to 4 inches with this one. Parts of Maine maybe getting up into that 5-inch range. And the way the models are trending, this could continue to just move farther south and give you guys more snowfall. And then by Friday, that one's basically gone. And let's look at where that one comes from. This is probably my favorite map of the entire video, because you see right now, there's a trough basically over the entire Northwest, all the way into the Midwest. That's what Winter Storm Lamont is. And then pretty warm temperatures throughout the entire southern part of the United States. Well, watch what happens to the west side of this trough right here. It cuts off, and that cutoff low just hangs out around Southern California for like a day or two, while Winter Storm Lamont goes and hits the Northeast. Now that cutoff low is going to keep hanging out. Now it's in Arizona, then it moves into New Mexico, and right here, this is when it starts to combine with that other trough that had moved through the Northwest. What that's going to do, it's going to bring in a bunch of warm, moist air from the Gulf of Mexico, and what happens when moist air goes into an already low trough that already probably has some vorticity. That's going to give it a bunch more energy and gives it storm development. So that's going to combine, and then that's the one that's going to hit the northeast. Right now you see, you really, for heavy snowfall rates, you want to see those purple Arctic cold temperatures. You want to see those pulling down throughout the entire northeast. As of right now, they're still a little north, but I think the trend is going to continue, and you guys are going to get some good snow with this one. That's my prediction. The last story is what's going on in the southeast. This is maybe the most crucial story right now because this is where there's extreme flooding and states of emergency. Luckily right now, pretty clear. No precipitation right now. But you see that low start to move in. Once it moves in, heavy rainfall, 0.5 inches per hour, and thunderstorms. You're going to see some lightning throughout basically Texas, up through Louisiana, up through Arkansas, and then that's going to move into the southeast. And you really don't get a break. This is now Monday night, see those heavy thunderstorms moving into Mississippi. Mississippi is already flooded. So on Monday into Tuesday, when these severe thunderstorms start building in there, well, it could get even more flooded. And then you see that other low, the one that cut off and was sitting off Southern California, it starts to move in on Wednesday. Heavy rain, heavy thunderstorms. Louisiana, eastern Texas, and then by Wednesday and into Thursday morning, that really organized band has formed and it starts to move into the southeast. So let's take a look at that. Right now, luckily, clear, no precipitation. Hopefully you guys are getting a bunch of recovery and maybe those rivers are starting to drain out a little bit. But by Sunday night into Monday morning, that ominous green and yellow starts showing up on the western side of the region. Well, that's going to start moving in Monday morning into Monday afternoon. Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, you guys all have flood watches, flood warnings, and this is the reason. That's some pretty heavy rainfall, 0.5 inches per hour, basically through all of northern Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia. See, this is Tuesday morning. The low is sitting right above Alabama, really bringing in some heavy rainfall, and that is not what we need right now. And then that other low starts to move in Thursday. I know we don't want to see this because it's already flooded down there, but it is kind of cool how organized this one is. You can see it's just a perfect band of that moisture getting pulled up into the trough. Again, we don't like it, but weather is pretty cool. That organized band is going to move through Mississippi on Wednesday night, Thursday morning. Then by early Thursday morning, it has moved in through Alabama. By Thursday at about 7 a.m., it's now moved into Georgia. And then Florida, you're gonna get some of this rain and thunderstorms throughout Thursday and Friday. Luckily, by the end of Friday, starting into Saturday and next weekend, well, it's looking pretty clear for you guys. I hope you guys learned something in this video. I make forecast videos every single day, so if you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe to my channel so that you can learn more in the future. Thanks for watching.